John Sarian asks, is Ian Reed, top 25 offensive tackle, a good take if Clemson loses out on Sullivan Absher?
I love Ian Reed, but to me, Absher projects more of as an interior guy, two different type of offensive linemen. Absher's a guy that could come in and play center if you want to put him there, more of an interior guy, and Reed's more of a tackle prospect. So kind of apples and oranges there, but I love Ian Reed. If Clemson can really gain some traction with him, I would have no complaints in that department.
Good stuff. Pigskin, what do you think about this? Will Dabo dive headfirst into the transfer portal to grab a running back or wide receiver?
I think headfirst is probably the wrong way to put that. I don't think he's diving headfirst in the transfer portal for anybody, really. I think he plays it smart, though. I know a lot of people don't agree with his, the way that he handles the transfer portal, but I think he's smart about it, and you have to be that way. And to him, it's more about recruiting. It's about the promises he makes to the recruits than it is about anything else. So it may hurt him in the short term, but in the long term, as far as recruiting goes, I think it helps him. And I think he really is just looking for those specific areas of need, like offensive line. Wide receiver, I honestly, I think we're pretty good at wide receiver right now. I mean, you got Adam Randall got hurt. That hurt us, the true freshman phenom coming in from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. But E.J. Williams, Joe Ngata, Spector, Stellato, Taylor, the two Collins guys, Dakari and Bo Collins. You got a bunch of playmakers on the field. It's like I said last year, you had a bunch of true freshmen and redshirt freshmen, and almost all of them got hurt at some point in the year. And, of course, Justin Ross was out with a broken foot for a while, or he was out for a couple of games, and then he kind of hobbled around for the rest of the season. But anyway, I think if they stay healthy, the wide receiver room is just fine right now.
I don't think a lot of people realize that Justin Ross played on a foot with a small fracture in it all season that was suffered in fall camp. It really hurt his explosion and stuff. But to go back to that question, by my last count, Clemson was at 84 scholarships. They got room for one more guy. If they take a portal guy, it's going to be an offensive lineman. I don't see any way, shape, or form they take a running back, wide receiver. Dabo Swinney made it. I actually asked Dabo Swinney back before the spring, were they content with going into the season with 4 running backs, and he was emphatic. Yes, they're fine with that. They usually like to carry 5. They'll go in with the 4 they have and the walk-ons they have, and he's perfectly fine waiting to 2023 class to get the 5th.
I got a question for y'all. Are y'all shocked that none of the defensive ends transferred out? Because that's like, they go, what, 5 or 6 deep? They're a defensive end. I mean, are you shocked they did one of them didn't transfer? Because all of them handled to their senior or junior year.
Yeah, there's your answer. The seniors aren't going to transfer out. They have unfinished business, and why would they? And the guys that are behind them, they know that they'll have their shot when a lot of these guys leave after the season. So I don't think I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all either. I got asked that about Cade Denoff and Zaire Patterson several times since the end of the season, and those guys all those upperclassmen announced they were coming back. Was I worried about those 2 guys maybe looking elsewhere? And I wasn't, because they know their time's coming. They might have to wait a year longer than they thought they would have, but their time's coming, and it's going to be with one of the best defenses in the country that they get an opportunity. I mean, that's hard to pass up.
Yeah.
It is going to be interesting to see if Dabo dives into to Pixie and Pete's point. I'll be shocked if he dives into the transfer portal, but not just this year. I'm talking about in coming seasons, because you look at that transfer portal list in regards to what some schools are doing, and it looks like their recruiting class, like LSU and Oklahoma and USC. And of course, those are new coaches. I understand that. So it's a little bit different situation. They're looking at turning over a roster, but even some established teams with some established coaches, you'll see 8, 10, 12 players. It almost looks like a recruiting class at this point. So the numbers are a little heavier than I anticipated, I got to say there, or really thought they would be. So